To another part of the Declutter series, and this is going to be a bit more different because, as I said a couple times now, I want to do a ranking by the end of the year, and part of that ranking, of course, has to be eyeshadow palettes. I do have 130 eyeshadow palettes to go through, and I actually don't want to go every single eyeshadow palette that I own here because that would take so long, especially when I keep all of them. So what I did now is I went through the palettes, I looked into every single palette, and my first initial feeling was there to decide whether or not to declutter, plus the fact if I had used that palette this year or not, and what did I feel about this, because a lot of the times I documented that on Instagram, I know what my feelings are, I can already go back and watch, and just, you know, sometimes when you see a palette and when you open that up, you either feel inspired, you feel motivated, you feel blown away maybe by color story, whatever, or you feel nothing. And these palettes that I selected here now are the palettes that I either feel nothing or actually haven't used so far, and that is just a bad sign. So the first palette I'm going to declutter is one I used very recently. Well, when you watch it, it's a bit longer ago, but when I film it, it was like, I think even this week. By the way, I'm filming this September 30th, so I don't know when exactly this video is going to be up, but so that you have kind of a time frame. This is the Beauty Bay Tropical 9-Pan palette, and I used this once for a look just because I haven't used it yet. It was a gift with purchase when I shopped on Beauty Bay, and I like this. I think this is a beautiful palette. But I feel like the looks that I can get out of this are very, very the same all the fucking time. And I know this is just a tropical vibe. And the thing is, it is just nothing that I cannot achieve with other palettes. And I, for some reason, don't feel attracted to Beauty Bay's 9 pans. I feel attracted to their 42 pans, even though they're also very monochromatic. But I'm sure I can achieve the same look with a 42 pan palette from Beauty Bay, or with any other more bright palette that I own. So this is a good palette, and it's not getting decluttered for quality reasons. It's getting decluttered because it does not excite me, even though I like the colors and the quality. The Pat McGrath quad in the Passion Fleur shade is also one that I will declutter now because I got this on accident. If you don't know, I purchased from that collection where this was released with, which was the blush sticks. I purchased 2 of the blush sticks and the highlighter stick, so 3 items, and I got the full collection accidentally sent. So they packed the wrong order, and I contacted them and they said, yeah, you can just keep it. So I used it and I like this. I truly do. I think it's a beautiful quad, but it's nothing I gravitate to. When I sit here and when I just have to choose what quad or what small palette should I use today, my thoughts would never ever end with Pat McGrath quads. I don't know what it is. They're just not special to me. And to be honest, this is like a 65 euro quad. It's not worth it. Definitely not. So although I like it, I like the quality of the shades, I like this purple, it's really, really pretty. No, I just don't. These 2 Beauty Bay palettes I got in a mystery box from Beauty Bay, and I used them both and I really do like them. This one is the Io Coralie by, what's it called? This is the Nebulous Secret, and I mean, this is beautiful. But I do have this specific color story with the greens and the purples and the intense shimmers already in other indie brand palettes that I like a bit more. I don't feel gravitated towards that. And same as with this sister palette. This is called the Duce Romance. And this is mainly pinks and brights, and this color story does not attract me at all. I was able to create a nice look with that, but both of these palettes I only used once, and if I want to use, for example, a green dark color story like the one in this, I would probably gravitate towards, I don't know, a Glaminatrix Into the Night, for example. Does it even have a green like that? I don't think so. But not these 2. From this year's collection from Gloss Gods that came with the Lavender Skies palette and the Color of the Rain, the Lavender Skies is actually the one that I don't really like, and that's mainly because of the redundant mattes. It's lacking depth. I wish there would be something else. I don't think they're good. I have to say that. It's actually a shame because, for example, Dreamscapade is a beautiful shade. Pink Clouds, Evening Light, these are beautiful shimmer shades and I really enjoy the Gloss Gods formulation. But this Lavender Skies palette is the only one of the whole collection. I think I have now, when this is gone, 6 other palettes from them and they're all pretty, and I looked at them and I felt inspired by all of them besides this one. I already said it in my brand review for Patrick Ta that I was thinking about decluttering the Patrick Ta Major Dimensions 2, and today is the day where I'm going to do this. The row of mattes is outstandingly good. Let me just state that. Despite my feelings towards the brand, I think the quality of the matte shadows is absolutely outstanding. But for whatever reason, all of these shimmers, they don't perform the way I like. But I don't think that it has to do something with the age of this palette or with potential mold growing in here, because mine is mold free apparently. It's just the general formulation of his shimmers that I don't like. And I think in a lot of reviews that I've seen so far, it doesn't matter if it was the Major 1 or 2, a lot of people were like, yeah, the mattes, outstanding, shimmers, not good. Both of my Simply Posh Cosmetics palettes, I don't want to have anymore. The Citrus Punch is the palette that, I don't know how to say that, but it disappointed me because look at this delicious summer color story. The greens, the gradient into orange, red, and this beautiful magenta pink column. Absolutely stunning. But for whatever reason, the complete middle row of shimmers is just not good. It's pressed too hard. It's super hard to get color payoff. The formulation reminds me a lot of Nomad Cosmetics. You know, the Santa's Village palette, for example, where the shimmers are so hard pressed in, or the Romeo and Juliet palette where we have the same problem. This is exactly what you get here. And I saw on Instagram that apparently a batch of palettes have a problem, but I did not buy this on the Simply Posh Cosmetics website. I bought it somewhere else in a German shop. So I just don't want to be bothered with like refunds and shit. So very sad, but this has to go. The Berry Icy palette was the first one that I tried from Simply Posh. And although this is super pretty, I really enjoy this. It's a quality thing. Simply Posh Cosmetics has in general good quality, but I have other things that I like more quality-wise. Things that just give me more joy, especially when I look at this color story. Do you know what I would rather use? The Beauty Bay 42 pan palette in Midnight. It has blues, it has purples. Yes, it does not have reds. Okay, I give them that. But why should I combine it? Because when I combine blues with the reds, I end up with purple. So, I don't know. It's nice. I'm happy that I tried this brand, but it is nothing I gravitate to. I'm also decluttering one of my Odin's eye palettes. This is the Planet Spirit palette that was in cooperation with Betty Jean, and this palette is just useless to me. I just can't come up with a look with only this palette. And I don't want this to be a companion palette. I don't know what it is, but this is, it's just throwing me off. So I can happily let this go. The other 2 palettes from that collaboration, one is with Lauren May Beauty. It's the Sea Talk, and the other one, I don't know her name, I think Makeup Just like for Fun or so, the Flora Story. These 2 are nice. These 2 I like, and when I look at them, I feel inspired, even though the Flora Story is not the best in formulation in my opinion, but I like the whole vibe that is going on there. And the Sea Talk, don't get me on the Sea Talk, this is Chef's Kiss, beautiful. But the Planet Spirit, I'm sorry. I also don't get the color story for this creator. Betty Jean is mostly dark grunge with a bit of a bright pop. I think her favorite season is Halloween. I don't get these shades. It's just, it doesn't fit her whole vibe. But I have to admit, I do really like the artwork on all of these palettes. That's absolutely beautiful. But yeah, as I said, it gives me nothing. I don't feel inspired by this palette. Goodbye. Please don't kill me. Please don't cancel me. but I will declutter my glam palette from Natasha Denona. I said it. And yes, I'm in a state of mind where I start to declutter Natasha Denona. The reason behind that is a bit more complex. First of all, I hate the color story. This is not neutral. Everything in this palette, yeah, even this smoke shade, even the blend shade, everything turns muddy gray on me. I know this is a lot of people's holy grail palette, and I think a palette like that should be a staple in your collection. Unfortunately, for me, it's not that. It is a bit of a shame because a lot of these shimmers in here are very good, and it's one of the few palettes from Natasha Denona that does not have this cream to powder shade that I just truly hate. I mean, her new palettes also don't have that, but no. And on the other side, I have kind of a weird feeling towards the brand at this point. Her leaks, the thing that she or the brand is coming with legal threats towards creators. I'm fed up with Natasha Denona. I'm done. I was also thinking about decluttering Yucca and the I Need a Nude, but I want to give them more chances because both palettes I used only twice or maybe a maximum of 4 times. While My Dream, Retro and Bronze and the Retro Glam, these I used so many times. I love them. Even though it's Natasha Denona and I, as I said, have feelings towards the brand itself, I love them. And I want to give Yucca and I Need a Nude more chances in my collection and maybe get more use inside my collection. But the Glam palette, absolutely not. And one of the reasons why I want to give the I Need a Nude palette more room to play in my collection is because I'm getting rid of a similar palette that has a vibe that could be I Need a Nude too. And this is the Tarte Full Bloom palette. This is the limited edition big palette that Tarte came out with in 2021. I think it's 2021 even. I don't know. But this is a 28? Yeah, it's a 28 pan palette with all the same colors. And there was a time in the place where I was completely into that, but I can create probably the same looks with the I Need a Nude palette. And to be honest, when I have to decide, okay, let me paint you the picture. I want to do a pink, rosy, romantic look. And the only palettes that I can choose from are Natasha Denona I Need a Nude and the Tarte Full Bloom. I would actually grab the I Need a Nude because of the very special shimmer textures. I like that more. I think these are pretty. I think it's a very basic bitch palette. Everybody should have this. And I think in one of my videos I even said that this is a staple in my collection because of that. But my opinion just changed over the past month. So not only 1 month, but months. And do you know what's really throwing me off? It's the scent. This smells like vanilla. And it's like not good vanilla. And the last palette I will declutter is actually the 42 pan Nude palette. And that is mainly for the color story actually. It's too warm for me. This is not my type. They do have another palette that is called Neutral. That is more neutral, cool toned. I like that much more than this. But be sure, quality is outstandingly good. I love that. I just don't like the way these shades turn on my face. I'm actually quite proud that I'm able to let go of 12 palettes in my collection. I'm still way over 100 at this point, and I don't know when you will see this, but I'm still waiting for palettes to arrive at my house. There is so much more just to explore, and my whole vision on eyeshadow shifted a lot. And I can't put into words what exactly the direction is that it's shifting, but these palettes are not vibing with it. Have you decluttered recently eyeshadow palettes, and do you also feel this tight feeling in your chest when you do that? Because let me just tell you, All of these palettes, maybe beside the Patrick Ta one, are still in very good condition, and I will give them away to friends on Instagram. So you should follow me there, because then you see when I do this. I always post that in my stories that I just give this to people. So okay, so thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if you decluttered anything in the past couple of days, weeks, month, or if you're doing like me a end of year declutter. And don't please forget to subscribe and support this channel. You can support the channel by buying me a slice of pizza down on the links below, but the biggest support is when you actually subscribe to this channel and you follow me on Instagram, on TikTok, because that way I reach so much more people, and that is just what I want to do. So thank you, and I will see you in the next one.